More Republicans are coming forward and urging the FCC to avoid dismantling net neutrality. We're talking about Republicans in Congress, not Democrats, although Democrats, of course, want to maintain net neutrality. But Republicans are now saying this is crazy, net neutrality is important, and you should leave it alone. These lawmakers include Representative Mike Coffman, Senator John Thune, and also Senator Susan Collins. So let me give you their statements. Representative Coffman said the following: I urge you to delay your upcoming vote and provide Congress with the opportunity to hold hearings on the net neutrality issue and to pass permanent open internet legislation.
So that's great. Look, I'm going to give a lot of caveats here. So first of all, credit to these Republicans. I always want to give credit to Republicans if they're doing the right thing, because I don't care about the teams. What I care about is policy. So now, on the other hand, let's be honest about their motivations, okay? One possible motivation is that they're doing the right thing, and I acknowledge that that's possible, especially in the case of Coffman, who voted for net neutrality in the past, so credit, okay? Another possible motivation is a lot of the right-wing websites are like, guys, we're not owned by Verizon, at&t, or Comcast.
Right.
We might be screwed. Please fight back against this. Which, by the way, I don't mind, which is great.
Fine, because the reality is dismantling net neutrality impacts everyone. It doesn't matter what your political ideology is. And I want the right wing to have a voice just as much as I want progressives to have a voice. I don't want to censor anyone or slow down internet speeds for any outlet or any type of political ideology. I want a free marketplace of ideas.
Yes, and the third possible motivation is, remember, you've got almost everybody in terms of the population on the side of net neutrality and keeping a free and open internet, but you also have some giant companies. So when we get into the senators, I don't know if Google, Facebook, Netflix, Uber, et cetera are donating to those guys, but they could have a bidding war. I mean, all of our congressmen and senators are up for auction anyway. So that's that might be a factor here, but hey, I'll take it because I want the free internet.
There's one other possible motivation, and I think that this could have an impact on how lawmakers approach this issue. Remember, we're not only going to suffer with slower speeds on websites that aren't owned by massive corporations or companies that are going to pay the money to these internet service providers for the faster speeds. All of us are going to pay a lot more for internet, and constituents are going to be angry, and people vote with their pocketbooks. And so I don't know, maybe
that's the least relevant thing for a Republican politician. There's no way they care about that. Let's keep it real. But anyway, I mean, look, they tax cuts at 29%. They don't care. Federal background checks, not doing them was at 7%. They didn't care.
They don't care because in that case, the donors have contributed so much money that that's completely making them blind and deaf to anything that anyone else has to say. But in this case, I think that there's a bunch of different factors at play. Now, let's hear from others. Senator John Thune said the following: so many of us in Congress already agree on many of the principles of net neutrality. If my colleagues on the other side of the aisle and those who claim to support net neutrality rules want to enshrine protections for consumers with the backing of the law, I call on you today to join me in discussing legislation that would do just that.
Now, again, I don't want you to get me wrong. Credit where credit is due. If Thune is ready to vote for net neutrality, wonderful. I'll take it and I'll give him all the credit in the world. But remember, they're going to vote tomorrow. The FCC, Ajit Pai said, I don't care, doesn't care how many millions of comments came against it, doesn't care that some of the top internet pioneers in the world, the father of the internet, the guy who invented the World Wide Web, Steve Wozniak, all these different guys have said, don't do it. Companies on the other side that actually have their business on the internet have said, don't do it. He's like, I don't care. I work for Verizon. I'm going to do whatever Verizon wants, right? So they're having a vote tomorrow. So Thune could be saying, well, I was theoretically against it. Oh, golly gee, did they vote for it? Well, I guess there was nothing I could do. But let's be fair, if he really does push for legislation to undo that vote, God help us, right? But if he does, then again, all the credit in the world to him.
And finally, Jeff Fortenberry also shared his thoughts on this. I recently urged the FCC Chairman Ajit Pai to preserve the framework of net neutrality. The upcoming decision should not allow for corporate monopolistic domination, whether internet service provider, delivery, or content creators.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Susan Collins as well, and to Ron Wyden. So Susan Collins is also saying that she would vote for net neutrality, but then introduce the legislation then, because right now the FCC is going to make the ruling and we're going to be done with it. But Wyden had and he's a Democrat, he had really strong words about this and saying they're going to destroy freedom on the internet. And he's absolutely right. And all the Democrats who are doing the right thing, and I get frustrated with the Democrats all the time, but in this case, they're for net neutrality. They're on the right side of this issue almost en masse. As far as I know, they're all in favor of it. So that credit to them too. If they actually had a vote, if you take a couple of those Republicans who are doing the right thing and they vote with the Democrats, will win. So we're supposed to have a democracy. So I don't want 5 guys at the FCC, 3 of which are clearly in the pockets of those internet service providers that worked for them in the past. Some of them did, and some of them will work for them in the future. I don't want the bribes going to them to settle this issue for the entire country, for the protection of the internet. So for all Republicans doing the right thing, you are right. You will also be protecting right-wing websites from being destroyed by corrupt monopolies, right? And thank you. So for all of us right now, this battle is tomorrow. And let me tell you where the FCC is. The Federal Communication Commission is at 445 12th Street Southwest, Washington, D.C. Their number is 1-888-CALL-FCC. And Ajit Pai's email is ajit.pai@fcc.gov.
I mean, you guys should email him for sure, but he probably avoids his email from.
Yeah, he went on TV the other day and cried, and he's so clueless. He went on TV the other day and cried about, why don't they like me?
Yeah, because you're a dick, that's
because
why.
You're
that's
trying
why
to destroy freedom on the internet. It's not that complicated. You're trying to hand the keys to the internet to just 3 or 4 companies that then get to set the rules against the rest of us. Gee, I wonder why people don't like you. But guys, it's not personal. Keep it political, keep it civil, okay? But that vote is unconscionable. I hope they don't have it tomorrow, but if they do have it, we've got to then work with everybody in Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike, to make sure that we reverse that ruling. Because to have them take the internet away from us, whether you're right wing, left wing, or anywhere in the middle, is unacceptable. And if you're for freedom, then you should be for net neutrality. In this case, I don't even have to convince the right wing. The right wing on the online is, we're all on the same team here. So let's all fight back against these crony capitalists and get a victory for the internet. You just watched a video by the Young Turks, the home of the revolution. If you'd like to get the full show, come join us and become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.